Formula One's announcement that sustainable fuels are its future has raised a few questions and a little bit of uncertainty with a few people, so I thought I'd address some of those questions. And the first of these is, why does Formula One need a fuel in its future anyway? And most of the automotive manufacturers in Europe at least are switching to a fully electrified product lineup. Well, Formula One has taken a look at the future and has understood the reality of the situation. Many territories across Europe and in other parts of the world are struggling to meet the infrastructure demands required by electric vehicles. There's not enough charging points, and in some countries, not enough energy generation anyway. And indeed, the manufacturing process of the electric vehicles may take a little bit longer to be widely rolled out than some governments expect. And this means that liquid fuels and combustible fuels will be part of the automotive mix going forwards. And Formula One's seen this as an opportunity to take a real technological lead on introducing a new and very sustainable fuel. So what exactly is meant by a sustainable fuel? Any fuel that's burnt in a combustion engine will have tailpipe emissions, so it's never going to be zero carbon. But then nor are most electric cars. They have some quite significant carbon impacts in terms of their manufacturing and their disposal. The life cycle of electric vehicles has a high carbon impact, higher actually than that of combustion engine cars. However, combustion engine cars have a higher tailpipe emission because, well, electric cars don't have tailpipe emissions. So a sustainable fuel is essentially carbon neutral, and that means it will come from a different source than oil that's found in the ground. It will come either from plant matter, or it can be synthetic fuel, or even the new e-fuels that are being experimented with by some manufacturers. Now, some people will ask, well, if you're using biofuels, for example, surely that's going to have an impact on food crops around the world. And in some cases, if you use basic level biofuels, yes, that's entirely true. But Formula One's, if they're going to look at biofuels, they're going to be looking at second generation fuels. And that means that the biological elements in the fuel do not come from food crops. They will come from other plant matter. So algae, for example, is something that's been actively investigated by a number of fuel companies. The other way to get second generation fuels is to use bits of plants after the useful food element has been removed. So the waste product from food production is also another way to get second generation biofuels. And then there's synthetic fuels, which have been around for quite a long time, but being experimented with once again. So that's another element that Formula One will be looking into. The fuel being developed is a drop-in fuel, which means it can be used in pretty much any combustion engine, being it spark ignition or compression ignition. And there could be adaptations made to the different engines that pre-exist to be able to make that fuel run, as well as automotive manufacturers using these fuels and these technologies to make their cars far more efficient. And let's not forget, Formula One cars are the most efficient combustion engines that anyone's seen in a very, very long time. So moving forwards, Formula One has really positioned itself as the technological leader, not just in transport applications, but pretty much anything that involves a combustion engine, and it will make a real positive difference to the world as a result.